What's up, MG? How's it going? No, this is gonna take quite some time. Rough. That'll definitely take some time. Just change tones quick. There we go. Actually, don't ever play that rhythm correct. was gonna play on a power outage. Oh man, I go back to sleep. Oh man, you should see like in South Africa. I think like since 2012 or something. It only I think recently stopped. I think last year, where we had what we call load shedding. What it is actually just rolling blackouts. So what will happen is there'll be, depending on where you are, you'll be without electricity for about 2 to 4 hours a day. And yeah, it's to lessen or soften the load on the national grid. But yeah, it's pretty much just as a result of maintenance not being done. And we were stuck with that for like 10 years. And I think maybe last year, the stuff has sort of been sorted out. I don't know what they did, but very grateful that we have electricity again. Okay, so that's my problem. What's up, verse? Well, sorry, Vesser. Flat sevens. How's it going? Started learning Larry Basilio, not alone. Oh my word, no, she's freaking good. Goodness. Still not, but I'm still practicing Pilafia cross solos. Yeah, like things you can work on multiple things at once. Just don't forget about them, because you can sort of, I guess, limit the progress you made already. So right now I'm busy learning multiple stuff simultaneously, but the main thing I'm learning is Kissing the Shadows by Children of Bodom. So that thing is really the dominant thing that I'm practicing now. But other things I'm still busy practicing. But yeah. Oh, thanks, man. This is a Ibanez Halberd, like the weapon, and yeah, it's extremely cool. Very, very lucky to have picked this up. It's very, very difficult to find, just because it only had a production run of like maybe a year or two back in 2013. So it's damn cool though. Like, oh my word. Didn't realize until now the car parts are glossy. Looks like color shift going on. Yeah. Like it's not a natural shadow. It's white paint and then like a silver sort of fade that makes it have that appearance. But it's so beautiful. Like, my goodness. So the it's like a silver gradient to taper out the curves. But it's so beautiful. Oh, what's up, Sean? Yeah, that whole thing is AI song. I saw that. I saw it like he put it out, I think, a couple months ago, But yeah, now it went super viral, but it's like purely AI, which is scary. Stevie T. Have any particular exercises that you usually include in all your practice sessions? Specific exercises, no, but specific goals for each thing that I play, yes. So, oh man, that intermediate rut is rough, dude. Don't worry, you're in good company. Now, so there's multiple exercises you can do, but the goal of an exercise is to, I guess, magnify certain problems you have with either your technique or your playing, and the exercises can expose them, but without understanding why you're struggling with something, you can't really treat it or improve on it. So what a lot of guitarists' big challenge is 3-note per string stuff. So or sweep picking, or tapping, or just the main thing is string changing. And there's so many exercises, but just blindly doing an exercise without actually focusing on what you want to do and how you want to do it, you're going to waste your time. It really sucks, unfortunately. But yeah, like everything that I'm doing now, I'm learning a song, but all the exercises are coming from that song. Like I'm busy doing this. That's what's that doing for me? That's doing 2-note per string. So that's busy practicing that. So I have to be very aware of my pick direction. So my pick slanting that I'm doing, down, up. So the riff from the song is. But what I'm actually focusing on right now with that thing is I'm just practicing. Okay, so I know. Like there's so many different exercises you can do to practice that exact motion or that exact sort of string transition. There's so many riffs that are 2 notes per string. Like you can have a look at your pentatonic. Same idea with the right hand. Just sounds different and looks different because of what the left hand's doing. but I'm mainly focusing on what my right hand's doing, and that is the string change. So down, and I'm making sure that my upstrokes, I do a bit of a forearm rotation, or I just pick in this sort of position. So instead of having my hand flat, I'll turn it a little bit like this, so that my downstrokes, I'm stuck between the strings, and my upstroke will be allowing me to go to any other string at any time. So I can go like, so that's what I'll be practicing whenever I'm practicing something. That's very, very specific things that I want to develop. There is a finite number of things you can actually be practicing, and encountering them in the wild in songs is, I think, the best way to see what is going to be the most beneficial to you, because if you learn songs that you want to play, they're going to expose all these problems that you might have, and once you work on these exercises, you get better and you can play the song. So these songs will expose exactly where I'm sucking. So, for instance, 2 notes per string thing was so ridiculously difficult for me, though. Really, really difficult. But as a result of encountering that exact thing in so many different songs, I've had to evaluate, like, okay, why is it difficult? And now it's significantly easier, but it was a journey to get it. But I could have just done this until I went blue. And fell asleep and have no motivation, or I can take a specific song. Another thing that is really, really useful for me was Bed of Razors. There's this song that goes, and I turned that riff into an exercise, but I moved it lower so it's more comfortable to play. And I can do it with different notes. I can go like a Paul Gilbert sort of thing. But the mechanics of my right hand is staying consistent. It's 1 note there, so it's an inside picking lick, so it's 1 note, downstroke, and then upstroke. So for this string change, I sort of do a wrist rotation or a forearm rotation to play that note, and then still be able to go with an upstroke to the next string. Because if I stay in this position, and after that downstroke, I need to go through the G string again to get to the string I want to get to. So you have to sort of learn how to jump between your in, your flat, and your out positions. And that's really the major focus of my practicing for the past year. Just trying to isolate these sort of things and get better at them, because it's you'll see this jump with my wrist like this whenever I go to the high string. We tend to focus a lot more on the left hand, but the right hand is really where all the magic happens. It might not be as visible, but man, dude, like the right hand is the driving force behind everything. Pretty much doing the 3 note per string and 4 note per string chromatics for a month or so. So you go back to shifted over to alternate picking finally, after starting off with economy picking habits. Oh, dude. I only started alternate picking, I think, 2 years into playing. And when I finally just got started with alternate picking, it freaking changed everything. Everything just became a lot easier. 3-note per string stuff is very, very difficult because you sort of have to jump between these pick slants in various ways. For instance, if I go, I'm exaggerating, but that's the idea. So it's like straight, out, straight, in, straight, out, straight, in, straight, out, straight, in. So the last note on each string will have a certain position or forearm rotation prior to me playing the note so that I can get to the next string easier. But this stuff I'll practice damn slow. I'll be like, and the same with economy picking is just insanely beautiful. Like Brandon Ellis and Frank Gambale is just like the guys for it. But or Eric Johnson. It's not my biggest focus, but it's so useful to be able to do. Dankie my breed. Kom ek sit hier so. How's hy? Baie dankie my nooi. Been pretty much doing sorry, I read the same thing. So kind of fixating on picking angles. Been bringing a lot of Troy Grady over the past month, and it's been quite difficult time for me getting it down while at high speeds. Yeah, like I did the Troy Grady pick slanting primer. Very, very useful. Very, very useful. But yeah, like there's certain every teacher has their own sort of way of doing things. I love Troy's stuff. He brought the pick slanting thing into the lexicon. He's just incredible. He's so good. Like it's insane. Like he's one of the guys that are extremely good at explaining what is happening, what are they doing, as well as playing. Like one thing I've had over many years is I've had teachers who can't really play that great, but they can teach well. But now Troy is both. And I'm currently taking lessons as well from a guy by the name of Anton Oparin. Dude, that guy is probably the best guitarist when it comes to alternate picking and technique out of anyone I've ever seen on the entire planet. He's so freaking good. Yes, yeah, literally, yeah. I'm part of his academy. So Anton's approach is really, really, I guess, orthodox. Very, very structured, very, very fixed, very methodical and clinical. And I really, really enjoy that. He's extremely good. He's just the best freaking player ever. And some of his things I don't necessarily agree with. I don't know if some of the things that he proposes that we do are maybe just byproducts of his technique over the years, or if they are the cause of certain benefits. And knowing that difference is a little bit tricky, but like, yeah, Anton's stuff is fantastic. Like you won't find a better technical player. He's this generation's Paul Gilbert, hands down. Like he's so good. Like it's ridiculous. How's his academy? I couldn't really find reviews on his academy on this. It's probably a huge Russian fan base. Yeah. No, it's very much Russian, but I'm obviously part of the English side of it. His academy, it's a little bit difficult as a beginner, I think, unless I'm missing a bunch of stuff. But a lot of it is, I believe, concepts, or just it presupposes you have a lot of foreknowledge before you join. Like it's a little bit of a steep learning curve, and it's gonna force you to really look critically at your playing. You're gonna reevaluate a lot of your decisions, a lot of your mechanics and everything, which is very, very nice, because he's an extremely great player, and he's very aware of what he's doing. So he is phenomenal. He has, I think, there's a bunch of videos and stuff, but I think there's 3 main lectures that he has that'll be the most valuable thing for you if you are stuck somewhere. Like he's really, really good with that. Also good is you can submit videos for feedback, and then he'll review it and say, okay, no, it looks like you are playing a bit strange in there. Obviously, I'm not going to share his secrets or anything, but I mean, like he is good at evaluating your playing and saying, okay, you're not doing this very well, or that's maybe consider doing it in this way or something like that. But yeah, no, he's incredible. Yeah, he fixates on the biomechanics. Very, very cool. Yeah, extremely. Yeah, very, very. He has a bunch of sort of I guess principles or guidelines whenever you practice something, and he's extremely methodical, and I love that. It's really freaking good. But yeah, some of it might be a little bit difficult to, I think, the academy wise. It's just a little bit difficult because you're going to use Telegram quite a bit, and share a lot of videos there, and Telegram and Discord, and then there's another platform. So yeah, that's like I feel like it could be, if it was a bit more centralized, it would be a bit more easy to, I guess, follow along. But the main thing is everything is there. It won't be spoon fed to you. And I think that's something that I also have to get used to, because I'm used to like always just having everything handed to me on a platter, having no sort of hurdles to jump through or whatever. Like, yeah, it's a different experience. But he's extremely knowledgeable, the best alternate picking player ever. Just there's no question, there's no doubt in my mind. He's so freaking good. But yeah, like especially his classical stuff. Like if you watch any of his Bach or any of that stuff, it's just incredible. A really good coach at the moment, so he helps me get around the more basic stuff. I'm considering saving for the academy. Oh, sick, man. Yeah, maybe I'll see you there. Anton's very, very good. It is a bit of a steep price in the beginning, but I do think it's worth it to just get another perspective on your playing and everything. Just because, I mean, I've been playing since 2009. There's a lot of things that I just want to really confirm I'm doing correct, because I don't want to spend an unreasonable amount of time perfecting poor technique. I can find the most effective way or efficient way of cutting down a tree using a pipe. But if I used an axe, it'll definitely go quicker. It'll be better. So just having that second opinion or that professional input to evaluate certain technical decisions you've made and built up through muscle memory over the years is a very, very good thing. I'm very thankful that the majority of the things that I've picked up over the years seems to be correct. There are certain things that I've done a little bit differently that I'll need to either rationalize or reconsider. But I'm very, very glad that what I've been doing for the past however many years, 17 years, happened by freaking pure luck to be the correct stuff. So now I'm confident enough to put in the hours, and I practice every single day now as well, just because I'm confident. I know this is the right stuff, so I'm very, very glad. How long to be like Kiko Loureiro? Oh my word, dude. I think depending on how good your technique is, or how consistent your practice is, how good your technique is, I think it'll take between 10 and 20 years. Like, he's so freaking good. His playing is so mature, so expressive, so articulate, so accurate, so flawless. It's just amazing. But again, he's very, very consistent. He's very knowledgeable, and he's, apart from just putting in many hours, he spent many hours prior to that making sure that his technique is correct. One thing a lot of players do is they just put in the work, put in the hours and everything, but that's more mindless than we actually consider. If you are more conscious of every single thing you're doing, then you'll uncover the right technique that you can then drive. It's kind of like you want to get from point A to point B, but you don't know what you should take with in the car. You can already start driving and stuff, but when you get to point B, you don't have what you should have. So I think it's better to take a bit longer loading or packing the car and making sure that when you start the journey, that what you're taking with is going to make sense, and that it's going to make the trip worthwhile. There's nothing worse than driving, I guess, 8 hours to a specific destination and realizing you forgot XYZ at the house. That would tilt me on a whole nother level, because now it's going to take an equally long journey to go back, fetch it, and drive all the way back to where you already were. So you can put in 1,000 hours, but if you aren't using the correct things in doing so, you're gonna waste your time. It's really freaking bad. It's unfortunate. How to improve alternate picking? Alternate picking, 6 tuplets in 160 BPM. Let me have a look quickly. So 6 tuplets at, let me just make sure I'm putting it right. So at 160 BPM, right? Let me check. So 16th notes. 8th notes. Really, really difficult to just count it out. But if it's faster, like. That's very, very difficult. I would rather use just normal 16th notes, but put it at like 180 BPM or 200 BPM, and then do that. It's going to be easier to just keep your timing. Like, this is 180. Very, very interesting. So how did it come across? Ekasenati. Welcome, bruh. Yeah, no, one of my viewers from India introduced me to Ekasenati, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. Just so beautiful. His name is Rambo Gaming. He introduced me to Eka Senati, and a bunch of other Hindi songs as well. One that I still need to finish learning is Nili Nili Ambar Par, and that is a beautiful song. Oh my word. That song is so beautiful. Like, oh, I need to learn that. That is such a beautiful song. So, yeah. I was also pleasantly surprised at how just beautiful the song is. So, yeah, really, really fun. If you're going to take it up to, let's say, 200 BPM. Like, one way to do it would be mentally to group them in groups of 4. So each click or each beat will be a group of 4. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. So I'll emphasize, I'll accent the first group, the first note of each group of 4, and it helps you keep time. So I'll go like, it's like, so yeah, very, very useful thing to do. Quite old songs. They're so beautiful. Like, I really, I don't know if it's a fact or not, but around, I guess, the year 2000, a lot of the Indian pop songs became very Western, or very, I don't know, I feel like they lost their essence. Everything just became like a rehash of Hollywood, Bollywood, but I mean, like even the fashion, the music, just everything tried to become too much like America. I feel like, I don't know, from maybe the 2000s or the 90s, it just sort of, I don't know, it lost its beauty. If I look at just the movie Cars, the old one with Rishi Kapoor, he like, if you look at what they're wearing, if you look at the music, if you look at the set, if you look at everything, it's just, it has that authenticity. And then you look at the 2008 remake with, I think it's Himesh or something like that. It's just totally different. The fashion looks just like America. The songs are like, almost every single instrument in that song is like from I believe maybe a Roland synthesizer. The guitar's from there. The choir is from there. Literally everything is from there, and it's so disappointing, because if you look at the original movie with Rishi Kapoor, it's like, it's totally different. There's this uniqueness, there's this beauty in just the instruments, and it's not perfectly aligned to a grid. It's not like just, it's not hollow, if I can put it that way. Like, the original versus the remake is just, I cannot compare them. They're not in the same league. Like, the original is just, it just has a lot more substance, in my opinion. So, yeah. But yeah, no. Nili Nili Ambar Par is next on the list. Yeah. Really, really beautiful song, but I'm going to have to work on my classical sort of motifs and chops. Very, very beautiful song. Goodness. very cool. Really, really cool. My word. Ugh. You want to play the fast runs, but I can't. I don't know why. Is there any tips for it? So, first thing I think you should do is identify how many notes per string the run is. That's going to affect quite a lot. So it depends what the notes are. Do you have a specific song example maybe from where the run is? Because there's a number of things you can do to, I guess, circumvent certain limitations you might have in your technique currently. But yeah, I would literally break down the entire run or riff note for note and analyze it and see, okay, so for this note, I'm going to be using a downstroke with my wrist in a certain angle or position. And then I'm going to go to the next string, and I need to be aware that, all right, I need to mute with this part of my thumb over here, and then I'm going to go to this string, which I'm going to use with my fretting, and I'm going to fret it with my ring finger. And bearing in mind, I need to mute with my index. So there's a lot of, I guess, questions you can ask yourself when trying to diagnose why you are unable to play something. There's so many things. For me, one thing I really suck at is a 6-string arpeggio. Just a... My big problem is the muting, because it's I'm rolling my fingers, but I'm not accurate enough with that. I need to still figure out exactly how am I going to roll my fingers so that I can mute each previous note but still fret the next note, because this rolling action, especially with my index, is very, very difficult. I can then decide, okay, maybe I can do it the Jason Richardson way, which but it's not going to work for things up there. The domination solo run. Let's actually have a look at it, because that's going to be Domination by Pantera, right? Domination. Let's quickly have a look at it. We can maybe have a look. All right. So let me do this. Let me put it up here. And let's have a look. Which specific one? Is it the one just... oh, there's quite a lot of runs. There's a lot of them. My word. Maybe this one? The run just before the breakdown. So this, okay. So let's have a look. So what he's doing here is he's not necessarily just before the breakdown. Okay. So this sextuplet thing going on here. So what this is telling me is he's picking once, and then he's hammering on there and there. Then he's picking once and hammering on there and there. Picking once, hammering on, picking once, hammering on. If you analyze it even further, you'll see this is exactly the same as this. So it's the same exact thing, just repeated twice. And then again, the same exact thing repeated twice. And wouldn't you know it? Exactly the same repeated again, and then again, Yeah. Okay, so you can play it at least hammering on. So alternate picking it might be a little bit more difficult, but let me have a crack at it and see. So let me just first get the alternate. So. I would take this because it's group of 6. It's very, very nice because then it means you can change strings using a downstroke. So I'll have my first group of 6 will be down, up, down, up, down, up, and then I'll go to the next string. So how I would practice this is in the following way. I would simplify the left hand, just the motions, because the picking is really, I believe, the difficult part of this. The left hand, unless your hands are out of sync, the left hand might be the easier part to do. So what I would do is I would change these notes totally, and I'll just have it go across all 6 strings. So I'll practice it, let's say. We'll just have the same. So 10, 12, 14, 10, 12, 14. Next string, 10, 12, 14, 10, 12, 14. So each group of 6, I will start with a hard downstroke. And what I'll also do is I will make sure that my hand, my picking hand, let me just make sure you can see, is tilted this way. So that each downstroke will put me between the strings, but each upstroke will have me in my escaped motion. So then after an upstroke, I can easily go to another string using a downstroke. So I'll go. So 3, 3. So that's the way I would practice that. Because if I have to constantly think of my left hand, I'm not going to be able to practice my picking hand where I believe the problem is. Once you've mastered the mechanics of, I guess, the picking hand, then you can bring in the string change pattern. So right now we have E string for one group of 6, then A string for 2 groups of 6, then D string for one group of 6. So then I'll practice this like this. I'll still use exactly the same notes. So I'll go like, because it's one group of 6, and then 2 groups of 6 on the A string. So, and then one group of 6 on the next string. So, and then we go to the next string, which will be 2 groups of 6 on the G string. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, then 3, and then probably like everything else on the E string. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, and then. So what I've done now is I've isolated the string changes with my right hand. So in this way, I don't have to think very much about my left hand. The brain is very, very good at focusing on one thing at a time. Once I've locked this in, the left hand is easy to learn. Like it's a pretty straightforward sort of thing. It's just low, middle, high, low, middle, high, and just depending on which fingers you're going to be using for that. But this is exactly the way I would practice this. Obviously easier said than done, but this is the approach I would take with this. And then once you're done with that, then you can just pull your face like this, and then you can go. And then you are going to have to look for a piece of drywall so you can punch a hole in it, and a beer can that you can smash against your face, and then you've mastered the song. Then you can play the song 100%. Also dye your beard red, and then you're sorted. Then you can really play the song. But this is the exact approach I would use. And then isolate the string grouping, so 1, 2. That's the approach I would use. I think everyone is a lot more capable than I believe they think, than you know. I think your right hand can. We just need to figure out why or what's limiting you. I think you definitely can pick this fast. Like, forget about the left hand entirely now, just go. Let's try and like zoom in on that and see precisely what is it that's limiting you with this. One thing that you can maybe try is diagnostics. So the first thing, make sure your elbow or your arm is touching the body of the guitar. It's your first contact point. Your next contact point will be this bone in your wrist, just above the wrist folds over here. You'll generally be putting that, you'll be placing that on the bridge where the E string begins. You'll be placing your hand there. Then you're going to be doing a side to side motion. You're not going to be doing this. You don't want to be doing this. This is going to be impossible. So you want to be going side to side. So as you do that, a good way to tell if you're doing it right is if your string stays between the strings after every stroke. So if I'm picking on, let's say, the D string, my pick should be then, after a downstroke, be stuck between the D string and the G string. And on an upstroke, the pick should be stuck between the D string and the A string. I don't want to do this. This sort of motion is very, very inefficient. It's also very bad for your wrist. So you want to go side to side. Another thing you can maybe have a look at, how are you holding the pick? How tight are you grasping the pick? How much of the pick are you diving between the strings? How deep is the pick going between the strings? Generally, you don't want to go too deep, because the deeper you put it, the more resistance you're going to experience from the string. And you want to go straight through the string. You don't want to jump like that over the string. You want to go straight through it. And how you hold the pick is a very, very important thing. I generally keep my thumb, let me see, my thumb straight when I'm holding the pick. So like I'll hold the pick generally straight. I won't do this with my thumb, and I won't do this. Again, there are people that have mastered this technique. I just see it as a possibility for problems. So every guitar teacher, or the best guitar teacher that I've had, has told me keep your thumb straight. And then the pick as well should be pretty much perpendicular, or the thumb should be perpendicular to the pick or whatever. So the point of the pick will be pointing that way, and the point of my thumb will be pointing directly up. So you make like sort of a right angle. So like that, that's the one thing. Then the next thing, this index finger, where do you put that? So generally, this joint, or this bone, for me, will be pointing in the same direction as the pick, as the tip of the pick. So when I hold a pick, this joint, or this bone is going to be pointing in the direction of the pick, and the thumb is going to be pointing directly up. So I have this perpendicular, this right angle that is formed with my right hand. And then, yeah, my thumb will generally also meet the index finger, this bone, sort of there. And this helps me have a lot of stability in the way I'm holding the pick. You can, what you do with this part of your index finger, this part, is up to you. I've played like this before, where I bend it like this. It gives me certain benefits. I've played like this before. Generally, like, you'll find a comfortable way to do that. But yeah, so if you look at the strings, I don't know how I'm going to illustrate this. If you look at the strings, this index finger will be, this bone will also be technically perpendicular to the strings themselves. And as a result, it gives you a bit more consistency, a bit more control. So I'll sort of have my index finger, this bone almost sometimes, like graze on the strings themselves, like that. There's so many little nuances and details that you can look at when you diagnose your playing. There's an unbelievable amount of possible things to focus on. So if I've seen you play, I don't know if you have any videos on your channel, but then it'll be much easier for me to diagnose what might be the problem. What is the problem with your picking? So yeah, if you have something, I'll have a look. If you don't, I don't know if you want to maybe consider just uploading a video of you picking, and then we can just have a look at that in a different stream, and then I can help you out with that. But yeah, have a good one, man. I'm gonna take a break now as well. I stream every single day in the mornings, 7 a.m. South African time. In the evenings, sometimes 7 p.m. like tonight. I started at 7 p.m. so sometimes, not every evening. Sometimes I have things on in the evening, but every morning I stream at 7 a.m. So if you want to join in for that, you're more than welcome. And then if you have a video available, I can also just help you out with that. But yeah, that's going to be me for tonight. Must have a fantastic evening / morning wherever you are. Have a good one. Cheers, everyone.